Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather. We've got to talk about it. I've got to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. And I feel sick when I talk about it. But I've got to talk about it. Do you know what I mean? We can't ignore it. It happened. Let's not ignore it. So, this past weekend, on a Sunday, June the 6th, Logan Paul boxed Floyd Mayweather in an exhibition somewhere in America. I didn't check where. I can't remember. I don't care. And this is the latest episode, I guess, in an on-running thing with YouTubers fighting boxers. And Floyd Mayweather's not stupid. He likes to fight for money. He's fought for money for a large part of his career. We didn't get the Pacquiao fight when we wanted it, probably because the money wouldn't have been as good. He then fought him later on when he knew he could beat him and got paid a lot of money. He fought Conor McGregor, so he get paid money. He fought in Japan, so he get paid money. He fought the Big Show in WWE, so he get paid money. Do you see where I'm going with this? It's not a coincidence they call him Floyd Money Mayweather. So Logan Paul comes along and obviously makes a bit of a stir with KSI, and they do those two fights. Let's not forget, he's 0-1 as a professional boxer, Logan Paul, and there is no commission in the world that would sanction that beating. He is not qualified to make Floyd Mayweather a sandwich, let alone fight Floyd Mayweather. And yes, I stole that line from Chael Sonnen, and I'm not sorry. But it happened. An exhibition match, no judges, three 8-minute rounds, 3-minute rounds, no headgear, but knockouts were legal. I watched 4 rounds of that fight, and I couldn't watch anymore. I didn't pay for it. I watched it on YouTube the next day when it was uploaded by Sky Sports themselves. And it was terrible. It was terrible. And whether or not Floyd Mayweather was carrying Logan Paul, or Floyd Mayweather didn't train and is 44, 45 or however old he is and just looked very, very bad, I'd imagine it was probably somewhere in the middle. You'd like to think that Floyd Mayweather still had enough to knock out Logan Paul if he had to. But it was dreadful. It was dreadful. And they got people's money. And this is the difficult thing with these fights, because the fight really isn't the thing that people are buying. They're buying the off chance that Logan Paul can knock out Floyd Mayweather, or they're buying the almost certainty that Floyd Mayweather will embarrass Logan Paul. And we paid for it. I didn't pay for it. Some people paid for it. Apparently it did over 1 million pay-per-view buys in America. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. It probably could do when you look at Logan Paul's following and Floyd Mayweather's career. But there is this thing happening at the moment that isn't actually really new. It's been happening quite a long time. We used to have celebrity boxing all the time. But when you sit there and you think about what we actually got for our money, and I know I keep saying that because I didn't pay for it, but if you paid for that, what did you get for your money? Not a lot. There wasn't any knockdowns, there wasn't any knockouts, there wasn't any nearly moments. Every single time Logan unloaded on Floyd, Floyd put his guard up and just sat there and took it, because he's a professional boxer and he knows what hurts, what doesn't, where he can go, where he can't go. He knows about movement, he knows about distance, he knows about timing, he knows about speed. He knows about everything to do with that sport because it's been his life for 25, 30 years. I don't begrudge Logan Paul. I don't. I really don't. If I was offered that money to fight Floyd Mayweather, I would do it now, immediately. I don't begrudge him. And I also don't think I begrudge people that watch it. What I do begrudge is when you do end up watching it and you don't get anything, really. You don't get anything. You got like a sparring match. It was almost like you've got to think that if Floyd Mayweather really, really is that good, and really, really was that good, which we know he is, he should have finished Logan unless he didn't want to. And if he didn't want to, then what's he doing? It doesn't add up. It's not. I know it's an exhibition match, but we were hoping it wouldn't actually be an exhibition match. And we used to get Hulk Hogan against Sylvester Stallone in an exhibition match, or Mr. T, but I know they called it that. But were we tricked? Were we tricked? Is it our fault for thinking that we were going to get more than just an exhibition match? I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like when you pay that money and you get that result, it's not what people want. And it certainly wasn't what I wanted. But that being said, I don't begrudge them. I wouldn't like to see Floyd Mayweather do that again. I don't mind if Logan Paul wants to do it again. Obviously, he's going to have to clear it with me first. But I want it to be against someone half decent. And when you look at what Jake Paul's doing, I realise I just said half decent when he obviously just fought Floyd Mayweather. But it wasn't a competitive fight. Jake Paul, on the surface, is having competitive fights. The jury's still out on what happened with Ben Askren. But if he's going to fight Tyron Woodley, you'd hope that's competitive. And he's going to fight Tommy Fury, you'd hope that'd be competitive too. I want to see Jake Paul box actual boxers and see what he's really got. But as far as Logan and Floyd goes, I think we got what we were advertised with an exhibition match. It's just, it didn't feel like we were advertised an exhibition match. Do you know what I mean?